What's up, guys? This is your man Tom Burkhardt here with BMW's most extreme coupe in decades. This is the brand new 2019 M850 X-Drive. So this vehicle is gigantic, ultra low, very, very cool flagship style coupe. Is really going after Bentleys. I mean, this is a Bentley hunter if there's ever been one. And this machine is really quite astounding in person. So 523 horsepower, pricing from about $110,000. And pace to beat a Rolls Royce, but just 8 cylinders here. This 4.4 liter V8 is just an up-tuned version of the engine in the M550. And basically a direct bring over from the M5 itself. So pretty exciting vehicle to be able to see even in the flesh, let alone drive. I'm very, very pleased to be behind the wheel. In the flesh, this is a BMW individual gray, and it's a little bit too subtle for its own good. I think this car would look really, really great in like a gloss black. But even as it stands, I mean, this is the coolest BMW in a long, long time. And that includes the i8 for those wondering. All right, let's see the M850 start up. BMW has taken the criticism to heart. Thank you. So, what makes this car really cool and special? Well, you know, being low and mean and gangster-like has a lot of advantages. It really comes in handy when trying to make, you know, a car that can challenge Bentley at what Bentley does best, which is incredibly gangster luxury coupes, and well, I guess what the Continental GT does best. So this M850 really needs to have not just panache when static, which it kind of lacks, but it needs to really bring it on the road in ways that the CL Mercedes does not. So let's see how it does. You have to be a little bit conservative. So in sport, obviously, it gets very, very enthusiastic on downshifts around corners, and you can hear that bobble from the exhaust, so it's sublime. And with all-wheel drive, I mean, there's really no concern about putting all that 500 plus horsepower to the ground very, very effectively. It's got a really, it's just, you know, coming here today, I was really thinking about this car and thinking, like, you know, how is it different than like the 6 Series Coupe, you know, or you know, the 6 Series Cabriolet and 2-door, but and it really is. I guess it sort of like fills a similar place in the BMW range, but really this car is its scale. The scale is what sets this vehicle well above the outgoing 6 Series. So this car is enormous and aims to have no sacrifices with that enormity. I mean, they still want all the power and all the enthusiasm, but now with a badge to match. So I've just had the suspension in adaptive mode because, yeah, we'll put it back in sport. But even in any of the comfort modes, the exhaust is obviously still really vocal, but it's in sport. But it really goes bananas. The brakes feel sublime. I mean, it's a really, really impressive achievement of a car. So just where this goes. And especially with the adaptive steering. So when you have it in sport, it really just takes a little finger flick and the whole car is going in a totally different direction. It's fascinating for a vehicle this large to feel this nimble, but it does. There's very little body roll, and in sport the ride is quite firm. It's pretty incredible how different the ride can be versus the comfort settings. And it almost weaves its own way around corners. I mean, it really feels the business. So this is quite CL class, its chief rival, as well as the Bentley Continental GT V8, where those cars really are great is in straight line speed, but they have a very hard time when trying to maintain pace around corners. I mean, they do fine, but you definitely have a sense of their size and just a sense of the height overall. Whereas in this M850, you really have the opposite sense. I mean, it feels absolutely low and ensconced and wrapped around you, to the point where this windscreen is actually like quite low. Visibility is still fine, but with the seat at its lowest setting, but it really doesn't. It really is a car that that you sit deep inside in like an old school grand touring way. So very on trend in a lot of ways from BMW here, and a very cool machine without a doubt. Let's see if we can put the roof down. This video might go to shit. It might be really difficult to hear, depending on the sonics of how the convertible is with the roof down. But let's try it. I'm not sure if. Oops, hold on a minute. I gotta dismount you. So the convertible top will operate up to 30 miles an hour, and it goes down in just 15 seconds, which is pretty good. They don't quote the uptime, but I bet it's about 23. And that will also operate up to 30 miles an hour. Fantastic. So let me get the window up again. Everything feels very solid. This machine. Very solidly assembled. Just got for pricing over 100 grand. But the really thunderous character of the engine is the most notable element. Particularly because it's so quiet in the M550. I mean, it's almost like alarmingly quiet considering how fast it is. So for this car, luckily there's a ton of character and a ton of whiz bang. I mean, even coming off the throttle just very modestly. A lot of engine note. And really good handling. It really handles. Corners are so flat. One of my favorite cars in the world is the M760. I mean, it's one of the fastest vehicles I've ever driven, bar none. And that includes like Hellcats and the Trackhawk, which of course I love. But sets the M850 above its CLS rival, and potentially at parity with the new Continental GT, which I haven't driven yet. But the old Continental, after reading for years about what a pig it was and how it didn't handle and everything, I got out on the road and absolutely loved it. Like, I loved it, especially the V8. So it was divine. But this M850 really makes its case instantly for being a terrific handling proposition, as well as a style statement. So let's see, how do I put up the wind deflector in back? I wonder if that's probably an option here. There's little details in here about there's a lot of sort of BMW-ness about a lot of these controls that it shares with many of its siblings. But there's like unique cut glass for the internal dials that are all just mirror cut. It's really cool. It's sort of like, it looks like a Coke mirror from Scarface or something, but it looks really amazing for it. Let's see about the wind deflector. I'm not going to be able to find it on video. But the car's stunning. It looks beautiful. I'm going to shoot some static video and then head back to the track. See you guys next time. Bye-bye.